Hey everybody, my name is Dave. I am building out a new brand called VibeWire. I'm doing it in public and wanted to invite you all along for the ride. So to get started, first thing I'm doing is building out a landing page, and for that landing page, I wanted to try some different of the vibe coding landing page tools that have come out recently. Some of these do a little bit more than just landing pages. Some of them, kind of just do the landing page. The five biggest ones right now, from my perspective, are V0. There's a new one from Google that just came out a couple days ago called Stitch, Bolt.new, Lovable, and then a tool from Canva, which came out not too long ago right here. So I've kind of gone and done the same prompt across all of them, and you've kind of got a little preview of what that looks like already. Our sponsor today is Hyperfeed. You can find it at hyperfeed.ai. Sign up today and you'll get 20 free credits. Hyperfeed is a vibe marketing platform that gives you an AI-powered coworker that can help with content creation 24/7. You can go ahead and check it out by going hyperfeed.ai. Here's the homepage. When you sign up, you'll go through and give it some information about yourself and about your business or what you're trying to promote, and it will recommend you tweets right away. If you don't like any of those, you can actually go and talk directly to it over here. It'll generate images for you. It can go and do deep research for you. It's a great marketing assistant. Definitely suggest you check it out. The prompt was a website for a daily podcast called VibeWire with a skeuomorphic style of an old video game console with some Dieter Rams style. So if you don't know who Dieter Rams is, it's one of the designers that a lot of people say inspired Johnny Ive and some of the stuff that's happened at Apple the last 30 years or so. You can kind of see some of the products he's designed here. Teenage Engineering also has a really cool style, which I think looks similar. And I just wanted to try this out just because it's a little bit of a different style than you might see normally for a website. It's kind of fallen out of fashion. I remember the original iOS system design had this very skeuomorphic look where if you went to the notebook, it would look like an actual notebook. And they transitioned at some point to kind of more flat vector style look, and I think this kind of style is coming back, the more like tangible look to things, and I just thought it would be kind of a fun experiment to see how these landing pages do with that. So that was the original prompt that I gave it. I think they all, did a pretty good job. We'll just kind of go through them one by one and talk through it. I actually prompted them twice. So what you're looking at in each one of these, for the most part, is kind of each vibe coding tool's first attempt at the creation. So this is V0. This is what I ultimately ended up going with because I liked what it kind of ultimately came up with. So we'll look at the final version next, but the first attempt had a nice kind of clean look to it. I didn't really get a lot of the skeuomorphic style here though. So there's some buttons here, but they look very flat. It doesn't really look like something that I would necessarily push. So I don't know that it necessarily nailed the skeuomorphic aspect. I do like the colors. I thought the red and the black was nice. Everything looks very clean. I do like the look of the page overall, but we'll see on the next iteration what it kind of came up with. So the next one over here, this is Google Stitch. Here's the first version. And I gave a little bit more info to this because one of the things that Google Stitch does is it can actually do multiple pages for you off the bat. And so you can see actually the landing page didn't actually come out. So let me, and I asked it to please retry again. And so there's what it came up with. And you can see here, it kind of came up, it used the skeuomorphic style maybe for the images it generated. And maybe, the styling here, there's a little bit of that play button has kind of this cool 80s style background to it, but I wouldn't necessarily say it nailed the skeuomorphic aspect either. So we'll look at, let me go back to some of the other pages. It may be stuck. It's loading. Oop. Let's wait. All right, let's maybe come back to that and see if it's able to recover. Okay, so this is bolt.new. And I wasn't actually able to go back to the first iteration of this, but the first iteration, so this is the second prompt. So we gave it a second prompt here to, I said more Dieter style, synthesizer style from the 1980s. I gave the same secondary, second shot prompt to everything. And the first version, I wish I could show it to you, had a lot more, it had this kind of lime green look to everything. It was kind of 80s, but not very skeuomorphic. And its second attempt, I do like a lot better. You can, if we zoom in on some of the buttons here, you can see that looks, it's got the shadow on top. It looks like something you could actually reach out and press on your screen. I do like the kind of lighting highlight that's up here by the time signature. So overall, this was definitely a better second attempt. And everything generally did better. Oh, on the second attempt, I also like it added this D-pad down here. Let's see what it looks like they may have actually implemented it. So you can actually move around in the UI. It looks like maybe using the D-pad, which is kind of cool. I don't know how usable that would be, especially if you're on mobile or something where that might be off screen. But I like the idea. So we could probably do something like that if we really wanted to. We could kind of pull that in the cursor and make that work a lot better. So that's pretty good for a second attempt. This is the Lovable first attempt. It definitely has a little bit of the style I was looking for. These buttons, look a little pressable. I wouldn't say it's kind of got that kind of gray styling that you would see here on some of this design. So it did kind of nail that aspect. It's not the most realistic looking, but not a bad first attempt. And I kind of like this gradient down here too. Okay, and then the final one is Canva. And I think this actually, I didn't even give it a second prompt because I thought it just kind of nailed the first attempt. So we've got, this is really nice. I really like it gave it a model number right here, VW 1984, VibeWire 1984. It's got this kind of red flashing light up there in the corner. You see the outline of this could almost be like a iPod style or radio or video game console. You can actually see the outline of the actual device almost. It added this kind of these gray bars, kind of giving it that old TV cathode ray tube style look to it. I do really like what it came up with here, and then the buttons over here as well, which once they do something, looks like they kind of skip through the episode and going up and down turns the volume up and down. So I don't know. Oh, and then looks like A and B. So I don't know if I would actually use these, but this looks a lot more usable too because the kind of content is closer. So I thought this was a great showing from Canva. Nailed it on the first prompt. Okay, so let's go take a look at our second prompt. So if I scroll down here, I gave each one the secondary kind of look prompt, more Dieter synthesizer style from the 1980s. So let's go down here and take a look at the second generation. And so this is what I ultimately ended up going with. It maybe didn't necessarily exactly match my requirements around skeuomorphism. These buttons, don't really look that inviting or pressable. They're very flat, but I just kind of liked the overall style. I thought it was the cleanest, the easiest to navigate. I like the color selection of kind of the orange and black and white. So I ended up kind of going with this because I just like this the best. It also has this kind of flashing red light up in the corner here. I like the information display for the schedule and duration. And I don't know if I'll necessarily have people listening on the website, or I might send them to YouTube or TikTok or Substack. So I may replace this with something else, but I thought this was a really nice generation on just a second prompt, very simple 2 prompts to get to this, which is great. Going back over to Google, let's see, this was the second version that I got, which is a little bit better. Kind of has the gray style, which definitely does match closer to some of what I was asking for. Got the red kind of, I don't know if that's flashing or not. It's got a little bit of an animation to it, maybe. And, pretty clean. But, I just noticed this little volume knob that it has right here. That's kind of cool. It'd be cool if you could actually spin that. But a little bit, and that's kind of interesting. One aspect to this as well is that with Stitch, you don't necessarily have the ability to send directly to GitHub that I've found so far, but you can kind of export this to Figma, and then you could pull it into V0 and have it actually kind of generate the backend code. But this, as far as I could tell so far, doesn't actually generate the code for you, but it does generate a Figma file that you could then pretty easily generate code from. Okay. And then, so we already saw the secondary generation for bolt.new. Let's look at the second prompt for Lovable. And this will be the last one. Should just take a second to restore that. All right. So for some reason, this one ended up being really blown out. I don't know why. I can't see it very well. I could probably prompt it again to redo. But, still not my favorite. It looks like if it wasn't so blown out with white, it might look a little bit better. It looks like there's a kind of flashing animation added, and I kind of like the background. So overall, this may have been in the running a little bit better if it, I don't necessarily know what happened here, but it's probably not too hard to fix up. So that's it. So like I said, I ended up going with this generation from V0, cleaned up some of the text a little bit, replaced it with just VibeWire. It gave, I don't know if you can see that over here. It actually pulled in my changes from GitHub, but it originally had somebody else's name in there, just a random name. So I updated it with my own. That's all the changes I've made so far. Very simple. I'm going to be putting up another video today where we'll actually show how I'm going to kind of handle every episode. We're going to be talking about different tools. Today we talked about these landing page generation tools. I'm going to be showing off, there's new tools coming out every day that are just can help you in all kinds of different ways. So I want to really highlight those. I'm going to have one easy place that you can go and see all the tools that I talk about every day. And so that's what you'll see under episodes. Right now that page doesn't exist. So we'll build out kind of through Cursor some of the additional functionality that I'm going to want to have on this website. And I hope you'll come back for those videos and follow along as we build out this new brand. Thanks a lot.